Bloodlad, otherwise known as BL, is an anime aired in summer of 2013 alongside classics like Free, World God Only Knows, Silver Spoon, and Studio Mappa's TQ. Written by Yuki Kodama, author of Hamatora and Ide: Invade, the anime covers the first 30 chapters out of 85, serving as a type of ad in anime form. So as someone that ad worked on, my first impression going back to watch Bloodlad is that it seems to be trying as an adaptation more than I was expecting. Like, look at how each title card is inlaid in the world somehow. Like, the visuals are decent, and they make some pretty fun choices with the audio as well.
Heart constriction!
Which makes it seem like a pretty quality production by Studio Brainspace of My Little Monster, Bacano, and more recently, To Your Eternity fame. And I warn you now, getting into this, the further we go, the more it's gonna seem like a fever dream. The story is about this vampire named Staz, who's a leader of a territory because everywhere in the demon world operates by gang rules. The Bloodlad here is what I would professionally refer to as a weeb. As you know, relatable. While he's weebing out, his gang boys call and say they have a human girl, so he gets excited and simps. As you know, he's a vampire. And relatable. He then gets called outside to kill this plant guy, back to check on that girl. Her name is Fuyumi, by the way, and Fuyumi's dead. But she's a ghost now, so that's fine. Staz only simps for living girls though, so he verbally abuses her. Because, you know, he's relatable. He then vows to revive her, and so begins the plot. They then go to a diner to meet a three-eyed ferret. Then they go to the human world, where they meet, and spray him with Bloodlad's spit to make sure there's not any problems when Fuyumi gets revived. Then after that, it turns out Fuyumi's disappearing for some reason, so Bloodlad has her give the suck to get her limbs back. Turns out Staz doesn't like any of the living girls he sees, so maybe he's a simp after all. On the way back, this girl Belle shows up to get Staz to fight Flamboyant Man for a pair of underwear. During that, she shows back up again to tell him about a book that can revive Fuyumi. It turns out the book is in the territory of a guy named Wolf. Staz then tries to hit a girl because Yuki Kodama is a master of relatable main characters. They go to Wolf's territory looking for the book and immediately run into him. Elle likes Staz and is showing stalker tendencies. It turns out Staz and
I am a wolf
are good friends, so they don't fight after all. Just kidding, Wolf simps for the girl and challenges Staz to bowling. Wait, no, boxing.
Vice versa. Whip up a slice of nice verse pie, hit it on the first try, villain. The worst guy, spot hot tracks like spot a pair of fat asses. Shots of the scotch from out the square shot glasses. And he won't stop till he got the masses. And show him what they know not through flows of hot molasses. Do it like the robot to headspin to boogaloo. Took a few minutes to convince the average boogaboo. It's ugly, like look at you, it's a damn shame. Just remember all caps when you spell the man name.
Staz then pulls a Tyson and bites Wolf, leading to easy victory. Belle teleports them all out of there, revealing she had the book the whole time. For some reason, plot twist, none of them know how to read, so they take it to Staz's brother, Braz. Several times already, the story feels like it's had the characters do something just to immediately swap objective. Like going from needing to revive, to fetch quests, to fighting for no reason during those fetch quests, to another fetch quest. But then again, how much can we expect during the first 3 episodes? Yep, all of that. Was in the first 3 episodes. Elle then kidnaps Stan, tries to get him drunk to take advantage of him. Flashback, Braz uses a Glicky on Staz to weaken him, so he's been weak this whole time. Belle wants him strong because she's into that hardcore stuff.
I'll get the bullet out. And once it's gone, I'm coming after you and taking your magic for real. I'll be kicking your ass until you beg me for mercy. You got it. Now let's go.
So now she really wants the bullet out. Cut to Fuyumi hanging out with Wolf and Triclops. She's getting a little eepy, so Wolf decides to carry her back, and her legs are missing. On a side note, Wolf says,
"Weird though, she's lighter than she looks."
But only her feet are missing. So A, kind of a dick thing to say, and 2, did her feet look so heavy that them being gone has made that much of a difference? Like he's looking at her like, get a load of clown shoes motherfucker over here. Oh yeah, and in episode 3, Wolf sounds really nasally, and I can't tell for the life of me if the voice actor is sick or just supposed to sound nervous around a girl, but like, look at this.
It was abandoned. I'm not a pureblood. I'm a mix between an unknown demon and a werewolf.
Say, those are nice healing powers. If I stabbed you in the heart, you'd still recover.
That's a napkin, you boob.
Maybe it's a high-fiber diet.
See ya. But it's not over between us. Next time, I'll make you fight for real.
Well, after that, they take Clown Shoes to Frankenstein to stabilize her. Belle takes Staz to Apocrypha, where his sister throws him in super prison, where he can conveniently get out if he beats these two zombies. As he spam loses to them, Braz gets wind he's there and goes to get the bullet removed, which now Staz doesn't want removed, so Braz will only teach him to read if he gets it removed. Frank is giving Fuyumi Demon Milky and will only give more if Wolf goes to fight a monkey boy he created. Now that Staz has the bullet removed, he too has to go fight the monkey boy, who it turns out has Belle's teleport ability, so he reverse Vors himself out of this guy. Fuyumi's got her clown shoes back. Turns out Wolf can only stay in his werewolf form for a short amount of time due to his other half. Staz is strong now, so he tries to Kamehameha Monkey Boy. And there's a fun little bit where Monkey Boy, his name is Akeem by the way, talks smack on Goku, which gives Staz a little bit of a power boost because he gets pissed off about it. It's fun.
The single greatest hero in the universe. If he was standing here and had attacked you with it, your sorry ass would be turned into dust. You understand what I'm saying?
Staz then one-shots Akeem with his own move, and then he gets holes in his shirt like Kenichiro from Fist of the North Star, but the holes keep moving around shot to shot, so I'm not sure the animators knew that was a reference. If that was supposed to be a reference, I feel like it has to be a reference after that last fight referencing Street Fighter, Full Metal Alchemist, and Dragon Ball, right? After this, Belle catches the escaping monkey boy, and Braz shows up to take the monkey boy's body and help with Fuyumi. Everyone regroups, and Staz kindly breaks Fuyumi's demon milky addiction. They all go back to the diner and need to take a sample of Fuyumi's magic. Now is as good a time as any to talk about that, I guess. At this point in the show, it seems like anything that's on screen, be it the combat, the rom-com elements, the world building, or especially the fan service, tries to hold your undivided attention on it almost only when it's on screen. When we're watching the fight with Akeem, it seems like this big deal that no one's thinking of the resurrection, especially the milk drinker herself. But then immediately after, it's like there's no mention of the fight, as though it were just a quick stop on the way to do an errand, which I guess technically holds up, but it just feels off. Like at some point, the show starts feeling like this weird sense of dream logic, only focusing on what's directly in front of me. Wait, what was in front of me again? Oh, right, boobs. Brasley then goes back to the necropolis but leaves Liz. Liz wants Staz to buy her a doll, then they show her castle in the sky. There's a bath scene.
You're kinda creepy.
While she's sleeping, Blondie here kidnaps Fuyumi and leaves a fake note for everyone, but I don't know if it's due to the speed of the show or what, but no one falls for the note, so we don't get that whole, oh, why'd she leave, thing that happens in other shows, so I appreciate that. Liz then goes back to the Cloud District to use a tracker that Brasley put in Fuyumi's boob. The king, named Wolf, wants to talk to Bradford. Blondie is Belle's bro, and their mom wants Fuyumi, so Belle fights Staz and he wins with blackmail. Then she gets pissed and shoots him with the Kenichiro pattern again, but this time they reference it, so last time was it intentional? I mean, it was upside down, but at this point I don't know what's referenced and what isn't. Belle then takes Staz home. As it turns out, Wolf Daddy killed the vampires, making Braz declare war on Wolf Daddy. Like right around here there's this whole thing where Braz kills this guy that works for Wolf Daddy and turns him into Akeem, and then leaks he did that so he can declare war on Wolf Daddy. And I have no idea why he did that. Like, it's not a Casus Belli, because he's the one that did something wrong, right? Like, couldn't he have just declared war? And now he has a timeline where he has to bring someone stronger than Wolf Daddy to beat him. So couldn't he have just waited until he had that person to begin with? If the declaration of war was just him egging Wolf Daddy on to live through the scenario, why did he leak that info? Like immediately after this, he escapes anyway using the self-police brutality method into chloroform. Meanwhile, Staz and Belle pretend to be dating, and Belle shoots Staz in the head. Turns out Belle's mom and Fuyumi's mom are fused in the same person, acting as one. Staz then has the gall to ask if Fuyumi's a Virgo, so he gets immediately ported to Hydra Heads, who is Belle's dad. We learn that if Fuyumi gets revived, she loses her memories. Heads asks Staz if he likes Fuyumi, and Staz is like, I don't know. Then he lets Staz go under the condition that Staz asks for consent if he drinks Fuyumi's blood, so that's nice. Glasses vomits up angry, will stop at nothing till he finds whoever made Glasses angry in the first place. So, kinda like a Twitter stan? then saves Braz from Angry, leading to her getting caught in the process. Then Wolf decides he's not going to use his werewolf form until he finds out about his other half. Conveniently, a Birdman with a letter shows up. Then Stas and Fuyumi are let go, and he gives a little speech about becoming a true hero. The end. So that's the anime. So it ends on a few different little cliffhangers. And it's some type of fever dream, but I couldn't really digest my feelings on it when I first saw it. But having digested it, I think the anime has done a good job at trying to be fun with the story and really conveying that fever dream energy. Something still felt off, and I didn't really realize what that was until I was mostly through the manga, so we'll get to that later. Even for the people that forgot about Bloodlad, I haven't heard anyone describe it as boring when they remember it. The manga picks up on chapter 31 out of 85, so we still got a bit to go. Fuyumon called a hit on Stas. The assassins are goofy. This one's a cat. They buy cowboy clothes. Hodeo Clown is getting thirsty. The more she drinks, the quicker her feet disappear. The assassins attack, they can predict moves, so they kidnap Fuyumi. Fuyumi shoots this guy in the fucking head. Then Stas gives them the vampire suck to win, and they decide to take Stas to Sky Island. Meanwhile, Wolf is in the human world looking for his mom. Belle is there too. Turns out Wolf Daddy is Wolf's daddy. They immediately find his mom, and she's going to teach him a new power. Stas is running from the KKK, but decides to go on a shopping spree in the mall. Angry finds them, so they have a fight. Stas then gets distracted and loses the fight. Braz sets his affairs in order and then turns himself in. As it turns out, Vamp is the person Braz revived in order to beat Wolf Daddy. Stas and Braz are on their way to Wolf Daddy. When they get there, it turns out Wolf Daddy and Vamp parents were friends the whole time. Vamp Daddy kills his sons with the floor knife. Turns out the floor knife sends people to Purgatory, where they get a slideshow presentation of the actual big bad guy, a guy named Grimm, who's been trapped behind that big ominous door. The door opens periodically, so everyone has to get ready to fight him. Like if Wolf Daddy isn't the bad guy, then why was he acting so ominous and not just gathering people to try to fight Grimm in the first place? Anyways, boys wake up and so does Akeem, who is somehow alive without a heart. He then teleport rips out Rickard's heart, so Dad is dead again. So now they all fight Akeem. Wolf shows back up and is strong now. I just realized something. So there's this moment where Wolf shows up to save the day, which is cool and all, but the anime, they several times mention how hard it is to get to the necropolis, and at the same time, I'm pretty sure Wolf was kicked out because he was a half-blood, so they wouldn't really let him back in the first place. So how did he get there if it's supposed to be so hard to get there, especially in the midst of a big catastrophe? Like, I know he's supposed to be stronger, but they never explain this. Okay, where was I? Some sort of powder boost, I guess. Okay. His mom taught him the power of charisma, which lets him force pull people towards him. Is some sort of power boost, I guess. While they're fighting, Master Hand Grimm breaks through the vault, everyone panics, and then Grimm absorbs him immediately, going to crucify Braz as everyone else escapes. He then decides to rule the demon world. It is immediately revealed that Braz is okay. They decide to read manga to try to find a solution for Akeem for several chapters. Assassins are told to go kill Akeem. Akeem starts killing people, looking for stronger body parts. Belle then sees the main duo getting frisky and gets depressed about it. Braz invents a scouter, so now we can see everyone's numerical power level. Akeem then gets a haircut and decides to become a father using the parts he collected. In the less creepy way, by stitching them together. Braz then magically draws a map for the main group. They decide to follow said map. Kids go into town to go part shopping. Rom-com stuff happens. They run into the bunny daughter and she is kicking their collective ass. They hide and the cat girl goes to pick up the bunny girl. Old man shows up and beats up the cat girl and bunny girl because he too is a relatable main character. The cat assassins pretend to work for Akeem, where the cat boy likes the cat girl. The old man decides to train Jacob and Edward and okay, so when the old man first shows up, he's wearing this like weird getup with the duck hat and the skateboard and everything. But for the rest of the manga, he's just kind of dressed like a normal martial arts old man. I don't know why this first image just got to me. There's a secret group of 4 strong guys called the Blacklist, and 3 of them gather. Akeem now decides he wants to hold the cell games, but he can't kill in the meantime. Belle is done pouting and helps train the main duo. Stas and Belle make up to Tengu Festival. Old man goes to check up on the 4th Blacklist member, a man named Patty. Bunny shows up at Patty's to chill because she can't kill right now. Then Belle ends the Tengu Festival and confesses? Then she immediately rejects herself with sound enough logic that if Stas left the main girl, she wouldn't like him anymore for doing that. All the baddies' power levels are going up. They follow the map again, training montage on the way. Keem is slowly getting possessed by Grimm, and he's fully possessed. Turns out the map goes to Patty's house where they fight the bunny girl and Patty gets her out of there using the power of friendship and incredible violence. Grimm agrees to drink a poison that Braz makes. Grimm is then mean to his kids. Pat is upset that they're trying to poison Grimm. They decide the poison they're going to use will be blood because Braz can control his blood. Grimm then makes an army. They collectively decide to save Akeem. Wait, what? So, the thing where the show had an attention span of a goldfish really doesn't go away with the manga. Like, they were literally just actively trying to kill Akeem. But now that he isn't on screen, I mean, technically, and his daughter is, we're supposed to just sympathize with her and want to save Akeem. Like, Grimm is the reason he was bad in the first place. I mean, like, Akeem set all this up. Grimm's just kind of continuing what Akeem is doing, so the possession almost doesn't even matter. But, okay. And it's not like they're just saying that. There's like this bit where Braz has this parental guilt over creating Akeem in the first place. And that just ends up translating into them going into the final fight with the active thought of, hey guys, let's try to save Akeem. Grimm has the KKK show up to the final fight. He then drinks Braz's blood. The fight then starts between the Blacklist and the Goonies. This guy has bard powers, so he sings Queen. Like, actually sings Queen with the copyright there and everything. I don't know if this is just the translation I was reading or if it was legit, but at this point, I did not question it. The kids are all losing, so Grimm breaks out the belt and treats his son like Nappa. The lads teleport in, and Staz breaks out the Modern Warfare 2 lobby to distract Grimm. Braz uses his blood to rip out Akeem's heart and then put it into himself. Now that I think about it, when Dad the Impaler had the heart in him, he had it in this cage so it couldn't possess him, but now that's of no concern? Anyway, Grimm gets angry about this, so now it's time for Big Grimm. He's pretty spooky, so they run away from him using portals, but he's able to keep up pretty easily. Staz has to go give Fuyumi some blood, but Akeem has a clone that tags along. He nearly kills Staz and kidnaps Liz, which I guess they're into, because now they kiss. During this smooch, Staz put all of his energy into Fuyumi, so now he's possessing her, and she is part vampire, part clown. They repeat the process, absorbing everyone else. Staz is now controlling her like a mech, save Liz, and Staz decides what everyone in the demon world wants, unconsensual spirit bomb. The landlord in a heat wave, Staz turns off the power to save on the electric bill. Fuyumi gets pissed and invokes the power of friendship, which leads to instant victory. Smash cut 3 days later, Fuyumi and everyone that got morbed is still in a coma, and Staz is in her mind trying to find her. If he can't find her before everyone else wakes up, she may be in a permanent coma. He asks if she wants a suck, which doesn't work, so he says he loves her, which does work. And that's that. They all live happily ever after. I mean, they didn't save Akeem, but that's okay. Yumi now works in the diner, Wolf and Belle have been hanging out a lot, Yumi and Staz now live together, Braz is the new king, and all's well in the world. Just kidding. Staz decides to res Fuyumi without her knowledge. Oshi wakes up in the human world with her memory wiped. She has nothing but a picture without the memories of what it goes along with. So she goes to school for what feels like the first time in forever some reason. And wouldn't you know it, they have a new transfer student. So near the end with the whole...
So no head?
The chapter ends here, and when it picks back up, that's practically irrelevant. That had me realize what was causing that fever dream feeling from earlier. And it's the lack of commitment to what's on screen, like I was talking about earlier. But not just that, but adding so many little details that make sense when they're on screen, but don't lead to anything. Like, when Belle says...
Wait a minute. It's not too late. I can make up a situation where he'll be forced to take out that bullet. I'm such a bad girl.
It doesn't lead to anything. In the manga, after letting Staz and Fuyumi leave Hydra, Combo Mom says, in reference to Braz,
I wonder if you'd foreseen that I would let them escape.
but he didn't. He got angry at the time. Or like the book thing, or the declaration of war, or the whole big deal about power levels, which didn't lead anywhere. Because we didn't even see the power levels of the main character, so it was just to make the bad guys look scarier, which is a tool, I guess. And like with the floor knife or Staz's confession happening at the end of the chapter, it makes it feel like it's there to be this artificial cliffhanger, which in combination with the whole goldfish attention span and some things being more important than they feel like they should be, overall leads to this weird dream feeling. Like, you know how in a dream where one hyper-specific detail will pop up and it just changes the entire scenario of that dream? I mean, it's kind of like that, right? And where I could go on talking about more examples of things that don't make sense, in the end, I liked watching the show and I liked seeing how wildly these characters would change their ideas and how wildly the plot would shift around. And in hindsight, I think the anime does a very good job with the adaptation having fun with itself, like the manga does. And the story overall, in both cases, tends to have this weird riding the line between generic and kind of strangely unique. That in and of itself is one of the most unique circus acts I've ever seen. There's several parts in the show that have genuine heart to them, and it makes me feel like even though it's doing that tightrope, it's not replicating anything for that feeling of being generic. So if anything, it kind of has a more unique writing style. I actually like a lot of the sappier moments in this. Like, the moments between Liz and her brothers are genuinely pretty sweet, and the fact that the first move we get is the same that the power of friendship invokes is really nice. And after everything with this series, I think the twist that really got me was that in the end, I enjoyed it. Have a good night. Drive safe. Hey there, thanks for watching. Hope you liked the video. If you did, go ahead and do all that YouTube stuff. Bloodlad, I did enjoy it, but that made me go a little crazy working on that the way I did. So if this seems interesting to you, I would suggest going for it. I definitely ended up leaving a lot more out than I thought I would. So for those of you sticking around, here's a little blooper for the end, I guess. Staz is controlling her like a mech now. They go and save Liz. Staz decides to fuck everyone in the demon world. Oh, not to fuck. Staz decides, fuck everyone in the demon world. That's very different. He decides, fuck everyone in the demon world. Oh, okay, let's say it like this.